welcome to this video from Catherwood&Co. In today's video we're going to show you how to insert a sleeve into a bodice using the flat sleeve insertion method. Okay, let's get started. So I've gone ahead and sewn the shoulder seams together, and now we're on to setting in the sleeves. So I've got my seams going towards the back. I've got my right side facing up. So I've got my armhole here, and then with one of my sleeves I've already marked the center notch, and I'm going to line up that center notch with my shoulder seam and pin it in place. And then I'm going to get each of my sleeve edges and line it up with the corners on the bodice, and do the same for the other corner. And now, because this is jersey, there's very little difference in the length between the sleeve cap and the bodice, called ease. When you do woven garments, you'll normally have to gather around the sleeve cap, but in jersey you don't. So all we now need to do is to pin our sleeve to our bodice. So let's go do that. Just be very careful not to stretch anything out of place, and make sure you're lining up your raw edges. Right, so that's what it should look like once it's all pinned together, and we're going to go and stitch all the way around the edge here with a 1 centimeter seam allowance, using your zigzag or stretch stitch on a sewing machine, or just with an overlocker, which is what I'm going to do now. Okay, so I've gone ahead and sewn my shoulder seam, and I've also done the hem at the bottom of the sleeve. I prefer to do the hem now before it's the sleeves joined together. I just find it easier, and as you can see I've done the hem using a twin needle. Watch the video, I'm just going to put a video suggestion there about how I do that, how I thread a twin needle and how I hem with jersey. Okay, so this is how it looks from the right side, and now we need to join our side seams and sleeve together. So the first thing we need to do is line up our seams which we've just sewn. That's a shoulder seam, so that's no good. Where are we? Okay, here we are. Okay, and I need to make sure that my seams are going the same way. Okay, so once I've got my underarm seams lined up, we want to make sure that we line these both up matching raw edges. So you can use pins or clips. I'm going to use pins for this, and I'm going to put 2 in. Make sure I get my overlocker threads out of the way. There we go. And I'm using 2 pins just to make sure, because I really want this seam to stay in place. Okay, so then it's just a case of right sides together and lining up your raw edges I always start from the underarm seam and work my way out. Once I've done the sleeve, I'm going back to the underarm where we started, and I'm going to get my front and back bodice side seams and do the same. Okay, so that's our bodice and our sleeve all pinned or clipped together, and now it's just a case of starting either at the bottom of the bodice or the sleeve. I'm probably going to start at the bottom of the bodice on this side, and just with a 1 centimeter seam allowance use a zigzag or an overlocker and sew the side. Once you've sewn up that one side, go ahead and insert the sleeve into the opposite side and sew the side seam as before, and once you've done that, you will have finished your bodice. If you like this video, then please like it and subscribe to our channel. Please also check out our Instagram page at Catherwood&Co Patterns for news and updates. Thank you and goodbye.